So I went outside the other morning, and literally normally you go outside, and lately it's been like oppressive. Like it's like I see these things all the time now that say, oh, if you get in a sauna this many times a week, you cut your risk of heart, all these things, like so healthy, right? I'm like, girl, we live in Florida. It's a sauna all the time.
Oh, it is all the time.
I don't have to worry about paying and going to a sauna. But then the other day it was like, I walked out and there was a breeze. And I looked.
That's how we know it's getting fall.
Yeah, I looked in my car and it said 76 degrees. I'm like, we haven't been at 76 degrees. I mean, it's not even 76 degrees in July and August at 3 o'clock in the morning in Florida.
No.
It's gorgeous, though.
It is. It's getting nice. And you're going to laugh at me when I tell you this.
I never would laugh. Maybe I would.
Because last weekend I put up my fall tree.
Stop it. You did? Okay.
You haven't been to the house to see it. And the crazy kitten that I found on my
it's
back
the
porch
cutest darn thing
is
ever.
climbing up the thing.
Of course it is.
So, but yeah, my 9-foot fall tree with all the orange lights.
It is gorgeous.
Because the wind blew, like you said, and it felt fall to me in
It
Florida.
did.
And I'm like, oh,
Well, and you know another thing that just really, really, really I love about fall is college football's back.
Oh, my
and
God.
the NFL's back.
I do like going to the games, but I don't follow anything.
Oh my God, huge!
You know I don't follow anything.
Huge Florida State fan, so that's a big deal to me. Go Noles! But I love the NFL too, and I just love football. Fall's my favorite time.
I love fall, but I love it for pumpkins and
But
all
I love
the other
that
stuff.
too. You know, and I know you're a big Christmas fan, and Christmas is great. Don't get me wrong, but the thing about fall is there's so much. I don't know. It's nice outside, but it's not cold because you know how I
Hate cold.
hate the cold. Like seriously, born and bred here, this is me. I do not like to be cold. But I do like a good breeze and the changing. I don't like when it gets dark though. And I keep thinking the government keeps saying they're going to change that so we're not going to have to get dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
You can tell when the breeze is blowing in the mornings and in the evenings, and then when the shadows start changing, getting longer, that's when it starts to get fall. So as soon as I see that, that's when I get the fall stuff out. So you'll have to come by the house and see all my fall stuff.
Crack me up. You really
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I know. And remind everyone again, what day do you switch it from the fall decor to the Christmas decor?
Veterans Day, because I always worked in the financial business, and
you
we
guys
always
get every holiday.
we always had Veterans Day off. So I was like, what perfect way to celebrate than to stay at home and put my Christmas tree up. So
Girl.
all you haters, I can think of a few of my friends on Facebook that make fun.
I'm not making fun.
But now it is pumpkin spice season, and very soon it will be Christmas.
I like pumpkin spice flavored, maybe like muffins or something, but I do not get the craze about the coffee. There is nothing about pumpkin that should be in my coffee.
I love it. I love it all.
No. Okay, on a different note, speaking of coffee, we're having a really cool guest on today. I'm so excited. David Booth.
Yep.
And turns out
He owns a coffee shop
he
in
owns a
Wildwood.
that's helping these veterans. It's combat veterans to careers, and I'm really excited to talk to him to see what he's doing in the community. So.
Yep.
Welcome to the Style Podcast, presented by Plaza Cadillac and Plaza Lincoln, where our drive to be the best starts with you.
Thank you for joining us on the Style Podcast today. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsors, Plaza Lincoln and Plaza Cadillac. And we'd like to thank Lake Center Homecare and Disability Consultants. Today, joining us, we're really excited. We've got David Booth with us. He's the president and CEO and a combat veteran. He runs Combat Veterans to Careers. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit before we went on air about your amazing story. So you've just start at the beginning and tell us.
That's just a story. But so I'm a retired Master Sergeant from the United States Army. I did 20 years. I was Army Ranger and medic and counterintelligence agent. I was in Iraq in 05, 06. I was on long-range surveillance. So we would go door to door and try to find bad guys. It was a great job. Loved my service. Loved my time serving. My vehicle hit a roadside bomb. I got blown up. Broke my neck in 3 places and was medevac down to Balboa Navy Medical Center in San Diego, where I spent the next 3 years trying to learn to walk again, rehab, and I had a traumatic brain injury as well. So just trying to figure out what's next. for my transition from the military back to civilian life, because the military said, well, thanks for your service. You're going to retire and now go join the civilian world. And so I found that as some big struggles. I took a job in Manhattan. I ran an international security company in Manhattan. I was the director of operations for that. So we had huge, ironically, it was an explosive detection company, which
Really?
I didn't find it the right way the first time, but they still hired me. I did that for a number of years, and then had to have another surgery, and then I needed to move someplace warmer. I had met my wife at a golf tournament in the Villages while I was on active duty, so I said, all right, I'm going to come down to the Villages, and that's what brought me down here. But then it was, all right, what am I going to do now? What's next? In the military, there's always something on your horizon. What's the next rank? What's the next duty station? What's the next deployment? What's next? And in the civilian side, when you get out of the military, you're kind of lost. So I started Combat Veterans to Careers to help veterans with transition from military to civilian life, try to find jobs, education, housing, 360 degrees of support from their transition from the military back to civilian life. Not just the veteran, but their whole family, because we found that a lot of our veterans would isolate when they got back and distance themselves from their family, which causes problems. And the family is a huge integral part. So we dealt with the whole family. We would put them through the fire academies, police academies, help them start business, entrepreneurships. We've sent some local veterans here. We've sent them to, I sent one to Cornell for an entrepreneur boot camp with veterans with disabilities. I sent his wife to Florida State for that same program, and they've opened McCracken, the Irish pub.
Oh, that's
wow,
awesome.
okay.
We love McCracken.
We do,
So,
yeah.
How many
they're
years?
awesome.
So how many years ago how many years ago did you start the?
So I started Combat Veterans to Careers in 2012.
Okay.
So little over 13 years ago. And so we've helped over 5,000 veterans and their families transition, start their own businesses. We have our offices are here, but our arm reaches all over Florida. So we have veterans all over Florida that we've helped. We have 57 firefighters that we put through the fire academy. We have, I think, 26 police officers that we put through the police academy that work locally. There are others around the state that aren't local, but that are working for law enforcement or fire, or that have started their own businesses, like Cabral's Heating and Air Conditioning, which is local. He's a Marine. We helped him start his business, get that going. So we have other veterans our veterans are great entrepreneurs. We've helped them start their businesses, get those things up and running. Even other nonprofits we've partnered with. There's another nonprofit that we're working with currently with our Operation Field Trip program, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but that's Take a Knee Foundation. So Take a Knee Foundation, what they do is they help, and Mandy, what she does is she helps first responders and veterans, the family members, with help with medical funding and education and things like that.
I was going to ask. Speaking of funding, where does the funding come from?
All over the place.
All over. Okay.
Pretty
Partnerships,
much. Yeah. Every
donations.
little thing. I mean, any little thing that we can do. We do events, golf tournaments. We do. We have a gun raffle that you can win you pay $50 and you're entered in every week. Every Friday we raffle off a gun. You're
Seriously?
entered in for the whole year. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
And then we do have a golf tournaments. We have a fashion show coming up. We have 2 thrift stores. We have a clothing boutique in
where are they?
Wildwood.
In Wildwood?
Yep. And then we have a furniture store in Wildwood as well. So all of those fundings, and that actually creates jobs for our veterans as well. But those also, and we get a ton of donations, and then people come in, and all of those funds go back to support our programs.
That's awesome.
We have our What's Next our What's Next program, which is our suicide prevention program, which we help, and we take veterans on therapeutic recreation, outdoor, get them out there doing things so that we say, hey, look, you're working hard. You can't necessarily, might not have the opportunity or the funding to go do a trip, so we're going to take you on a trip. And then on that trip, we're going to plan what's next for you. Like, all right, when you got home, these are the things you need to do, and then we're going to take you on another trip. So we're always keeping something on the horizon. So that reduces that suicide. So, and I've been in that dark place before where it's like, all right, I'm having a bad day, but I might not do it today because I got this coming up, or I got that coming up. And it's just little things in your brain that, all right, well, I'm having a really bad day. Let me reach out to.
Well, you're so used to when you come out of the military. I would imagine it's very regimented, and
Yeah,
you like
for
you
sure.
said, you always
Super
knew the
structured.
next step. So having something to look forward to.
Yep.
When veterans, especially combat wounded veterans, you've been in the action, so to speak, where everything going on in the world is horrible, and you're in the fighting mode. When you come back and you try to get acclimated back into everyday normal life where nobody's trying to kill you on a daily basis, is that one of the hardest things that's for veterans to like bring it down and to get back into, because there's still horrible things going on in the world that you're not trying to be a part of anymore. So
I'm trying. I'm always trying to be a part of it.
that's what I'm saying. So for me, I'm just imagining my dad was in Vietnam, and I'm just trying to imagine that when you come back, life here is still going on, but all the stuff that you went through is still going on there. So is that where the trouble comes in? Is that where?
It's a number of different things. So one of the things, and it's a great question because there is no cookie cutter approach. Like, and I don't want to knock some of these other organizations, but I mean, veterans are super humble. And right now, I think our country has by some of the ways some of the organizations portray veterans, it's kind of disconcerting because all the things that I went through are the reasons why I'm doing the things now. And my PTSD has made me stronger, has made me more apt to do things. Yeah, I still deal with my own issues. I still have my nightmares. I still deal with those things. But at the same time, I'm doing things with other veterans, and I'm trying to help them deal with the things that I'm going through. There's no real cookie cutter approach. If I have the same wounds that I have, somebody else has, there's not like one pill and say, all right, take this and you're going to be better. No, your counseling is going to be different. Everything is going to be different, but you got to do something. A lot of our veterans, they self-medicate because they don't want to deal with the VA. The VA you hear a lot of good things and bad things about the VA depending on generations.
A lot of red
our
tape.
Vietnam veterans are getting the care they need because they've been in that process for a long time. So our younger veterans are still trying to deal with it. There's 3 sections to the VA. You have your administrative side, you have your healthcare side, and you have the cemetery. You're going to deal with all of them eventually. But with that being said, you get good care at the VA. And people...
Once you get the care.
Getting access to
Just
the
getting
care.
access to the care, the waiting time, because
Exactly.
we see that in the business we do, a lot of
For sure.
people.
Getting access to the care is the issue. And the other thing is dealing with the bureaucracy of the VA. So my doctor prescribes one thing, but the pharmacy says it's not formulary, so now I can't have it. So it's a juggling act. So it's super frustrating. And that's the VA is working on that. And they have been, and they're going to continually always working on that. But so the question you ask is, how do we deal with it? So there's no set way. And so our organization, when we talk with that, deal with that, is that we create a short-term, mid-term, long-term plan, and we help them walk that through. So no matter what time of day, no matter what's going on, we're there for them. We're there to help them with anything and everything. And if we can't do it, we'll find the resource that's out there that can do that. And that's what we do. There are organizations out there that, we focus on catastrophically injured or wounded veterans. What's catastrophically wounded or injured? I'm considering I am. But when you watch the videos, they're parading them around in wheelchairs. They're parading lost limbs, things like that. There's only such a small percentage of amputees, and I ran a warrior transition unit in San Diego, which dealt with all of that. We had 180 wounded veterans at that same time, which was one of the 3 amputee centers. So the number of amputees is so small considering all the people that have PTSD and all that. So there's a negative connotation that goes along with PTSD, and unfortunately, our veterans have absorbed that. So they think, well, I'm broken. I can't work. I can't do this. I'm broken. That's crap. Now is the time for you. So when things get tough in the military, you train harder. And that's what we do. Now isn't the time for you to suck it up and quit or go sit and drink.
No, you lock in.
Now is the time for you to train harder
Yeah.
and do the things you need to do to take care of your family, to prepare for later. Because unfortunately, we've seen a lot of people think the government takes care of our veterans. They try, but our nonprofit organizations that are out there are the ones that are doing the hard work and the ones that they call. And when I started the organization, I thought, all right, well, I'm going to be able to refer veterans to the VA for mental health and all of that. No, the VA refers people to us. And that's one of the reasons why we started this Operation Field Trip, which goes along with our suicide prevention.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into the Operation Field Trip in just a moment. We'll be right back with more from David Booth in just a moment.
Plaza Cadillac offers you the luxury of choice. Come test drive the all-new Optic with standard all-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, and over 300 miles of electric range, starting from only $44,890. Enjoy 0.9% APR for 60 months on our best-selling Lyric EV, or take advantage of $1,500 savings and 4.4% APR on our fantastic lineup of gas SUVs and sedans. Plaza Cadillac in Leesburg. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Joining us today is David Booth, combat wounded veteran who runs Combat Veterans to Careers. When we took our break and we left, we were talking about Operation Field Trip.
Yeah. So our organization does a lot of different things. One of the things that we found that it was missing, I mentioned earlier about the VA, getting access to the mental health. Mental health, if anyone's been to a counselor's, you got to find the right one.
Right.
And finding the right one could take a long time. Dealing with the VA, a lot of times with the VA, you might find the right counselor and then they leave. So then you got to start all over. And it's like, now you're starting and your story, telling your deepest emotional stories.
You're reliving it every time you tell it, too.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
opening
So
the
when
door.
you lose a
Cognitive therapy.
therapist that you've already gone over that with,
Yeah, and now you got to do it all over
Yeah.
again, and then hopefully it's the right person. So that's a challenge in itself. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know that.
to be honest, that's a podcast for another day if you
That
get me
is,
started on the
for
issues
sure.
with our government. So,
But at this, so one of the missing aspects was the PTSD, the mental health side, and the suicide prevention, and finding. I mean, there's so many different medications that their veterans are on. Some work, some don't. I'm on medications that I have to take another medication for the side effects of the medications that I'm on. I mean, it's just, and at some point you're just like, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going up to, because dealing with the special operations community, I ended up going up to Chicago for this ketamine and ganglion block therapy. So I went up there and I got ketamine therapy, and then the ganglion block is like your fight and flight sympathetic nerve, where they cauterize it, and it's supposed to help you deal with triggers and stress and things like that. And
Does it work?
And so that you're not always in that
Right.
heightened sense of.
Yeah, did it work?
Does
for
it
you?
help?
It actually
You really-
it helped a lot. It changed my life. But at the same time, all right, it lasted about 6 months to a year. Okay, but now where do I go back? Now where do I go to get this again? So we ended up a mutual friend of ours, a Special Forces PA, and he owns a practice in Vero Beach, which is Emerald Medical. His name's Chris Hausenauer, and Mandy, who runs Take a Knee Foundation. They work together. So a mutual friend of ours, of mine, he said, hey, he also went through that Chicago therapy with me as well. He said, hey, Chris does the ketamine therapy. And I'm like, let's go. So we went down to Vero Beach and got it. And this how it started was it worked before, and it definitely worked again. I woke up. So it's, if you don't know, ketamine therapy is an IV. So you get an IV, and they put the medications in an IV. You put your headphones on and put some like sleeping mask. And for 45 minutes, you're going through a therapy.
What's in the headphones?
Just therapeutic music.
Okay, like frequencies or things?
Nope.
No,
Just
music.
kind of music. It's
Okay.
super.
That's cool.
I'll get into that. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So we went through that, and I'm like, our veterans need this, and he's like, this is his idea. So we sat down, and we said, I actually have in Wildwood through our organization, I have a bunch of trailers, like just enclosed trailers that are all air conditioned, like mobile offices. We turned those into therapy sessions so that we can be mobile, so we can go all over. So we have these mobile trailers, medical trailers that we've built. So from that one meeting with that one first ketamine session with Chris, we said, we sat down, started brainstorming. 35 days later, we started our first treatments in Wildwood. Our goal was to have, it's not cheap, but our goal was to have at least 30 patients for the first year. We started this in May, and we've already have 60. Wow. We're into our second. So it's a 6-session. Protocol is 6 ketamine treatments and 6 counseling treatments. So counseling is one of the most important parts to this. It's not, the medication is one aspect, but you have to have the right counselor. So the counselors that we have are combat veteran counselors. They're veterans, they're first responders, so that are licensed therapists that are the counselors. So they go through a ketamine session, then you go to a counseling session, and you go over some of the things that you go through during that ketamine session. All right, this is what you saw. This is kind of what it relates to. The music. The music is super important, and it's a playlist. It's a different playlist for every session, and it's songs. It's stuff that you're not going to hear. Like if you turn on the radio and you're like,
right.
You're not going to hear. It's not anything familiar. A lot of it is foreign language too, which is super neat. And from my experience, I understand the language when I'm under the therapy. So what ketamine does is it increases the neuroplasticity in your brain and helps those triggers and helps you, and it gives you a calm, euphoric feeling that lasts days and weeks after.
So this fascinates me, the neuroplasticity thing. So what is it? Does it help create new neural pathways?
No, it just helps clear the damage. It's a clarity. One of my volunteers who had dealt with some traumatic stuff in her life. She went through this, and for years she was. Her son passed away traumatically, and for years she just said she felt heavy. So what it does, and she called it, she said it perfectly. After her first treatment, she's like, I feel light in my brain, in my heart, and in my soul. And
how long does it last?
It depends. So it metabolizes differently with everyone, but there are different ways to make it last. And this is more. It's more of the homeopathic side, like creatine, taking 10 to 20 milligrams of creatine a day, taking zinc. Methylene blue. These are all things that you can get over the counter, but those things help also neuroplasticity and your brain function.
And so do those things help with the TBIs?
Yes,
traumatic?
absolutely.
They do.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So I would think
same with creatine.
Okay, so I would think though that going through these while the drugs are only in your system forever, however long you metabolize them, but you're working on something and creating a foundation so that you're healing.
Correct. That's the whole purpose.
yeah.
So the other side effects too. There's zero side effects. So I mean, after you go through that 45 minutes, you like for 15, 20 minutes, they don't want you to drive for the rest of that day. But for about 15 minutes, you're a little loopy. But other than that, you're fine. There's zero. So I found that I don't need some of my medications, or that I found that I'm just, and how do I say this? So like, I felt a little different. Like I felt calm and I felt at peace, but the people around me saw it more than anything.
They noticed
like
it.
the people I worked with, the people, they're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You would have totally like chopped somebody's head off of something that just happened, and you didn't even blink." Like it.
It is amazing
So
that
it just
people
brings
around you that
everything
see
down.
things. I know you've said that to me before after certain things. I'm a very high anxiety person.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, you seem more peaceful.
Yep.
And that is a nice feeling to have that weight just kind of.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it does. So now it lasts. So I went through my 6 sessions, my 6 sessions counseling, and the counseling part really helps so much too, because then it's kind of weird to say it's not like a medication or anything, but it helps prolong, because I tell people it's like I become a duck, like all the water and all that, it just rolls off me. So and the counseling helps that. It's like with the counseling, they talk about deflecting all the negative, you're only taking in what's positive and deflecting some of the negative. And when you're in that mindset, it really does help, and it does prolong that. So for me, and everybody's different. How long does it last? Everybody's different. Sometimes I've heard that women metabolize it different than men.
Days or weeks or
weeks.
Okay, weeks.
I've seen it, and most people it's weeks. So one session, and then we do it every other week. So we do it on a Saturday so that it doesn't. So people that are working. So we start at 9 a.m. and we run until everybody's done. We have nurses, we have paramedics, we have everybody there is a medical professional. It's all covered under HIPAA. I mean, and it's a therapy. We do veterans and first responders, and their spouses, and there's no cost to them. It's not cheap. It's our organization. It finds the funding for it. We're applying for grants. And we're getting some national recognition with this, because it is the VA offers ketamine therapy. It's different. We're helping tweak that protocol to help give it to the VA for them to utilize, to put it in play, because it does work.
Well, and that's the thing. You would think, I would think that you could be almost like the catalyst that not just for combat veterans, but for people that have been in horrific accidents with TBIs and things like that.
For
if
sure.
you can help them.
Yep, it does help. I have nightmares. I have a lot of things that I still deal with that I'll probably always deal with, but I deal with it differently now.
It taught you coping skills too.
My brain is functioning differently.
We're going to take another quick break. We'll be back again in just a few minutes. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsors, Plaza Lincoln and Plaza Cadillac, and Disability Consultants and Lake Center Homecare. We'll be right back.
Drive home your new Lincoln during our summer invitation event. Enjoy 0% for 48 months and 2 years free maintenance on our large selection of 25 Corsair, Nautilus, and Aviator. Or take $5,000 off remaining 24 Nautilus. Stop in today to see the all-new 25 Navigator, completely redesigned with our most luxurious interior ever, featuring a 48-inch curved display and 24-way massaging seats. Plaza Lincoln in Leesburg, across from the airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Joining us today is David Booth. Thank you again. I know we've been talking about a lot of stuff today, but Shayna had a good point earlier.
I really want to know how people, we want to bring more awareness. So how can people in the community get involved? What kind of things are open to the rest of us to help? things like that.
Yeah, we're always looking for help. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for business partners. We have veterans that are looking for jobs, or the other thing is we're here for the community. And that's one of the things that helps our veterans get back into the community, is being a part of that community. So you might be a business owner and you have veterans employed with your business that might need the help that we provide. So reach out to us. We're here to help them. We're here to help with a number of different things, compensation and pension claims with the VA. We are always looking, we're a nonprofit, so we're at 90 cents of every dollar that we raise goes back to our veterans and our programs. So we run a tight budget, and all of that is on our website as well. It's combatveteranstocareers.org. We have a thrift store. We have a thrift store in Wildwood. We have a furniture store. It's called Restoring Hope Thrift Store, and that's on 44 right next to Wildwood Tire.
Okay.
It's a big red building, but that's all of our furniture, and our veterans are working there. And then we also have a clothing boutique right next to City Hall in Wildwood. It's phenomenal, the clothes that we get, and we also have a coffee shop, which is we have our own brand of coffee. It's called Honor Grounds. It's some of the best coffee you'll ever have.
I love coffee.
Female veteran does all of our roasting.
Is that in Wildwood as well?
That's in Wildwood as well, and that's right at the front of our clothing boutique, which is Restoring Hope Clothing Boutique. All of those funds go to support our programs.
Okay.
And so
You accept donations?
and we accept donations, and we even pick up.
Okay.
The other thing is we're always trying to raise awareness, and we're always looking for help. Any kind of help that you can think of, we need it. Volunteering, funding. We do a number of fundraisers. We have a fashion show October 30th, which is really neat. We have veterans and volunteers are our models, and it's at Laurel Manor Rec Center in the Villages, and all of the clothes that we're showing in the boutique or our models are showing are clothes that are out of our boutique.
Okay, that's cool.
And then the next day we open it up to everybody that participates to come in for discounts and things like that. We also have a golf tournament that's at Country Club of Ocala, and that's on Veterans Day, where we're raffling off. We're raffling off a golf cart. It's an outdoor package, which is on our website. We're raffling off a Harley, which is on our website. A custom built, Marine, Ryan Moran, custom built a Harley that we're raffling off, which is awesome. And it's only $20 for a raffle ticket. I mean, and there's only 2,000.
I always wanted a Harley. I need to
tickets.
buy one.
Yeah, it's really neat. And again, all of those funds go to help our programs. We even have first responders and veterans that are Ryan Moran. He's running 100 miles and to raise money. He's going to get sponsors and running 100 miles to raise money. And then there's another first responder, Zach Maddox, who's doing an Ironman triathlon, and he's trying to raise money to help with and that money would go to Operation Field Trip to help with the ketamine therapy. Both of them are participants in it. And I mean, they're able to do the things that they're doing because of that therapy. So Zach Maddox, and all of that information is on our website. So please help support that. We're doing good things in the community because it's about us not just taking from the community, but we give back in the community. Plaza Lincoln, they're one of your sponsors. Louis is one of my good friends. He's done so much for us. For our organization.
Yeah, they're great.
So Plaza Lincoln is a great dealership and just great people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's about. Acres Media has done a lot for us.
They're all right, yeah. Teasing.
sometimes.
They're sometimes, yeah.
It's that guy Doug. I don't know.
Doug Fresh.
But that's what it's about, is getting the community involved, which also helps our veterans get back, reintegrated back into the community. So we're open for everything, and we're a part of everything. We support our police departments, our fire departments. We support local businesses because they support us.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here today. This was really informative. We had no idea the thrift store. Or
No,
any
and
of this
listen,
had-
I'm going to be honest. I love a good thrift
We
store,
love
especially the
thrift
stores.
furniture
They're awesome.
kind.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The
So
stuff we get it's just amazing.
Well, I can imagine in the villages, especially because a lot of those people move down here with things. They want to get rid of it. I mean, I can imagine the clothing store gets a lot of
a
nice
lot of it's
clothing.
brand new, still
I'm
has
sure.
the tags on them.
I'm sure.
well, thank you for your service. Thank you for
Yes.
doing this. Thank you for caring, because there's so many people in need in our community that could use this. So we appreciate all your hard work for
No,
this.
thank you. And people thank us for service, but I mean, you're worth it. Americans are worth us fighting for, and
It is.
And the things that we've gone through, it's our country too, and we're here to help. be
We
a
owe
part
you
of it.
guys a lot.
Yeah,
we really do.
So thank you for joining us on our Style podcast today.
you.
It means a lot.
We'll have to have you back on
Yeah.
so we can talk next year and see how all the fundraisers went.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us on the Style podcast today. We'll see you next time.
Get all the Social Security disability benefits you deserve with disability consultant Jeff Bell. Our experienced Florida certified ADR handle claims on a contingency fee basis, meaning you don't pay unless we recover money for you. We have established a strong reputation as a firm that cares and provides the best care to its clients. Call us today or visit cbell.com.
So he was amazing.
Who knew? I didn't know
I
any of
didn't-
this
and
existed.
you know, I love me a good thrift store. But in all honesty, I think what they've been through and listening to him, anytime you can help someone that has seriously sacrificed so much for the rest of us in this country.
Yeah.
That's why I get so frustrated when people they don't understand it. Even the ones that are protest and all these things. They fought for them, like our ability to do that. So I just have
it's
so
hugely
much
important.
respect
No matter
for our veterans,
no matter
and
what
anyone
your-
in the military.
Right. No matter what your opinion is politically, it's important that they fought for our right to have those different opinions.
Exactly.
So it's
that's
hugely
amazing.
important.
He's
So
amazing.
And I love that he's given all these resources. We do have a lot of veterans here. People have moved down, relocated to Florida. And it's important for people to know that. And you and I are from here and been here, and we didn't know about them.
I know,
We didn't
but
know
I do
that
now.
he existed. So we know about that now, and we can,
Yeah, he was a great guest. We'll have to have him back on.